This is Arkansas Game Day presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
Oh, he did get away, my gosh! He throws it to the receiver at midfield, it's complete!
ESPN Arkansas is headed behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Our coverage is presented by Ag Up Equipment. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. And First Community Bank, where community comes first. First Community Bank now has 32 locations across Arkansas and southern Missouri to serve you.
Hey, welcome into a... Tommy, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I am ready for this football game. All we could talk about last night is wanting to leave Jordan-Hare Stadium with the win. And the Arkansas fans I ran into last night, they're sick and tired of losing Auburn. It's kind of the same rhetoric we heard all week long from the players. From Dalton Wagner, from KJ Jefferson. They're sick of losing to these guys. And, man, I don't know what it is. At the beginning of the week, I was just kind of meh around. I think they got a chance to go out there and beat their brains in today, man.
Well, I mean, you're taking that rhetoric from fans. I wouldn't expect you to hear anything else today. I think this game's going to be harder than people think. I think a lot of people have the hope, and you just kind of gloss over some of the factors in today's game. And you think Arkansas should be able to go down and steamroll an Auburn team that has been on the ropes a little bit this season. It's had some tough moments, battling through coaching controversy and maybe even program crisis to some degree. But I think this game today is going to be more difficult, a challenge, than just show up and roll the football out and Arkansas run it down their throat and walk out there with a win. I hope it works out that way, but I'm expecting a battle to the end, maybe even an overtime game today when it's all said and done.
I was talking to an Auburn media person last night, Tommy. Apparently similar to Arkansas secondary, which you're hoping will be solidified and guys that haven't played lately will get a chance to play today. Their defensive line has just been thoroughly depleted this year. And if you're Arkansas, and you know that, this should be a field day running the football. Ole Miss had a lot of success in it. Other teams have had success in it. And I would think Arkansas is able to have success in it as well. And to your point, the fans, I mean, there's always going to be a lot of positivity from your fan base about certain games, even if they haven't had success against a certain team. But I just think there's areas that Auburn is bad in that you're good at on the other side, and you should be able to take advantage of today.
Yeah, but, you went to Provo thinking Arkansas would do one thing, and they end up doing a balance of both run and pass. And, I've come to expect the unexpected a little bit from Arkansas when you think it's going to be one way. And you're right, on paper, you look at the numbers, you look at the rankings, you look at where Auburn is in rush defense, you look where Arkansas is in rushing offense, you think, well, there's the key right there. Well, I'm of the belief you can think what you want about Brian Harsin. They know a lot more about football, and, they know that too. Sam Pittman and his staff, they're pretty wise about football. They know that too. They can, try to out-counter some things. So I think Arkansas will probably do some things offensively today that we're not quite expecting from this game plan. Maybe it is just as simple as line up and give it to Rocket about 25 times today and let KJ carry another 10 or 15 times and filter in the rest of the offense, and off we go and back on the plane with a win. But I don't suspect it will be quite that easy.
Our number is 877-377-6963 if you want to jump in here on Arkansas Game Day presented by Bud Light. Really appreciate, again, Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank for helping us get out here behind enemy lines. Now, Tommy, on Thursday, it was one of those things where very cordial with opposing fans. Still was for the most part last night, but there were a few Auburn fans that had choice words, and what would happen is they would say something and then kind of smile like, hey, I'm just kidding, man. I just think that we're I don't think it's going to go that well tomorrow. I wonder, you mentioned Brian Harsin, and I know that coaches, again, don't adhere to what fans think all the time, but I wonder how much confidence is in that locker room right now after they've lost 3 straight.
I just don't know. Arkansas lost 3 straight, then went to Provo and won.
Yep.
So, I mean, just because and it feels like at times when you lose and you lose and you lose some more, you're never going to win again. Arkansas went to Provo and got a win. It felt like, man, you're not going to lose for a while. You're going to go to Auburn and win, and then you're going to beat Liberty. And, hey, it's very possible, and you got to win today, obviously, to even have a chance at this. Very possible after losing 3 straight, Arkansas could reel off 3 straight before 2 very difficult home conference games. Maybe you win more than 3 in a row. So, I mean, when you get in the doldrums of losing, boy, it sometimes feels like victory is never going to be within reach again, and that's probably where Auburn fans are right now. But nothing like a bye week, Ty, to kind of renew and refresh and make everything seem possible again, and both of these teams are coming off a week of rest.
Yeah, it's crazy how when you look at that, those optics and the perspective, they've lost 3 straight, it's just going to be a 4th, but you just pointed it out, Arkansas did the exact same thing, and it stretches. We know there's bad stretches and rough stretches within college football seasons. Arkansas has hopefully already had theirs, and now they can go on a run for these next couple of weeks as they set up again. This is the last game in October, and then they set up their final 4 games in November. Now, Tommy, Auburn has the worst turnover margin in all of college football, worse than the SEC, worse than every not Power 5 team, worse than every non-Power 5 team. Ashford has thrown 5 interceptions compared to just 4 touchdowns. They fumble the ball. And Arkansas last week, or 2 weeks ago, was able to force 3 turnovers to a team that had only turned the ball over twice all season. I would hope that stat bodes well for 11 o'clock today.
Yeah, turnover margin's always key in any game. Now, Arkansas had one early, at Provo with Rocket, and, we ended up seeing him get close to 200 yards. What was it, 175, I remember right. And he had to stand out a while and think about it. So, Arkansas was able to get a couple interceptions with Hudson Clark in the secondary. So, yeah, I would expect turnover margin, as usual, to be a big part of this. Arkansas's ball security, and as I've talked about, and it's reared its ugly head a few times this season. We know the one play against A&M that kind of is the one you circle. Ball security at the goal line is certainly a place where Arkansas has had a couple of miscues this year. This is going to be a hard-fought, close road game today, I believe. I think it's going down to the wire. I hope I'm wrong and hope Arkansas can win, with more comfort than that. But you can't lose a possession at the goal line.
Tommy, does Rocket Sanders bust 1,000 yards today? He's above 800. I think it's like 851. I got to go back and double check.
I believe it was 870. I believe
870. Okay. Does he bust it today?
It's a good question. I mean, and that you could be either answer you gave it. You could make a credible case for it. Rolling in and getting 130 or 40 yards against an SEC defense isn't just snap your fingers and do it. So I think today might be a little more difficult than we think. I think probably next week against Liberty does it very early.
Yeah, I think that Rocket, either way, barring an injury, I'm knocking on wood here. I know y'all can't see me this morning, but I'm knocking on wood. I think he's going to bust 1,000 yards. And we were kind of asking the question before the season, Tommy, will Arkansas even have an 1,000-yard rusher? And Tommy, he could do it with 4 games remaining on the schedule.
And it is 870, so he needs 131, I guess, to bust 1,000, have 1,001 yards. So some of this has been Dominic Johnson's injuries early, which got really Rocket's season on track. And then even when it was maybe a game or 2 longer than you like for Dominic to come back, he had the hot hand. He's had the hot hand all year when you carry the ball. The one knock has been ball security when it comes to Rocket. But he's your most trusted back. I mean, next to KJ, is there anyone else on offense you trust more than Rocket Sanders? I don't.
That's a great point by you. Now, they were able, Tommy, at the tail end of that ball game to sustain a 10-minute-plus drive, and that really altered the course of that fourth quarter. And when you look at these two teams later on today, Auburn's fourth quarters have been dreadful. They're bad on third downs. Tommy, they've been outscored 56-23. Now, a point you always seem to make when it comes to Arkansas's offensive line is they might not pound away in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, but by the fourth quarter, they have worn down their opponent. And you're hoping, based on what Auburn's been this season in the fourth And based on Arkansas's offensive line being what they are, Rocket could get to that 1,000 plus, and they just pound away in that fourth quarter.
Well, not everybody can be Mike Tyson. You know, Mike Tyson made a career and a reputation as one of the greats of all time in our lifetime by knocking people out in the first half a round. You know, how often do Mike Tyson's fights, go 5, 6, 7, 10 rounds? Not very often, particularly in the early 90s, early in his career. Football is just not a game where you knock your opponent out a lot of times when it's an even matchup. And maybe a lot of Mike Tyson's weren't even going in. You just can't do that. Wearing on people, physically dominating takes some time and takes some possessions. So I like where Arkansas gets in the fourth quarter. That's where they're a fourth quarter team. The strange thing, and they fixed some of this and certainly didn't look this way in Provo, they've been a better third quarter team as of late, but you look at the season in totality, in the third quarters where they've lagged a little bit. Hopefully that's not an issue coming off the bye where they start out the second half with a lull, because that's where you need to impose yourself physically. But when you do that in this game, it doesn't always work out in the first quarter where you can put your opponent away, certainly in an SEC game.
You should be able to score on the Tigers today. They've given up 40-plus 3 times this season. Penn State, Georgia, and Ole Miss. You have an offense that can be balanced at times. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're just lethal throwing the football, because they're not. St. Pittman's been open about that. We have been too one-dimensional at points this season. You brought up a good point this week. You wonder, hey, with them doing what they did against BYU, KJ Jefferson having a career high in passing touchdowns, does that kind of change? And I'm forgetting Auburn's defensive coordinator, but does that change his and Brian Harson's perspective on what Arkansas brings to the table today? You would hope so, just to have them kind of think about what they're doing on offense and hopefully not be able to just straight up guess what Arkansas is doing most of the time.
Yeah, I just wonder if Arkansas has gained, some real confidence in passing the football and being, more balanced. I don't think Arkansas has an offense that's certainly out of whack or too heavy or, and Arkansas has become too one-dimensional. I mean, as that's where we started the conversation. But one-dimensional when you're really good at something's okay. And they're really good at running the football, and they've played some really good defenses to this point. But, yeah, they showed in Provo that, hey, we can put a product on the field that looks a little bit different than what we've done. I think BYU, to some degree, it appeared from the untrained eye that they weren't quite expecting all of the passing Arkansas did. I think it caught them off guard a little bit, and Arkansas took advantage of it. All
right, last thing. It's the number 6. 6 straight victories for the Auburn Tigers. You don't want to make it 7. So we were talking about with Dalton Wagner and KJ and the others, and Sam Pittman was vocal about that. They feel like they've been embarrassed. Now, really, since Sam got to campus as the head coach, they haven't been embarrassed. And actually, the last time Sam Pittman was on staff prior to becoming your head coach is when you won the football game. That's something that Chuck was talking about with Drew earlier this week on the Give Me the Hogs Chuck podcast, is that 54-46 overtime victory back in 2015. Tommy, they've won 8 of 9. This is just a game that you've got to get back in the winning column, because there is no way in heck it should be this divided between Auburn and Arkansas when it comes to the series as of late.
Well, let's just be honest. This is Auburn's weakest team in quite a while when the Hogs have played them. Auburn hadn't been this low in some time. So, yeah, you feel like you owe it to them. I think they've been ranked 7 of the last 10 matchups. Arkansas's only been ranked in a couple of those. Neither team's ranked coming into today. So, yeah, I think Arkansas is the betting line favorite going on the road. That's noteworthy. So, yeah, you feel like this is your best chance against Auburn in quite a while. You go back a decade probably till you faced when they were making that transition out of Chiswick, where you felt like, or even 2012 when John L. last won, his team in 2012 that won on the Plains. So it's been a while since Arkansas. You felt like, hey, we're really, truly, without question, bringing a much better football team. I think Arkansas is a better football team, but winning on the road in the SEC is not easy. You don't just, snap your fingers and make it happen a lot of times.
Speaking of the Plains, that's where we're live this morning behind enemy lines thanks to Ag Up Equipment. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Visit them at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. They don't sell maybe at Ag Up. And First Community Bank, where community comes first. Founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas. First Community Bank has 32 locations across the state and southern Missouri to serve you. When we come back, more Arkansas Game Day live on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light.
The Party Place, Arkansas's largest locally owned party supply store, now has 50% off all Halloween decorations. Hurry while supplies last. A large selection of costumes available all year long, starting at $9.99. Animatronics, accessories, makeup, masks, wigs, and so much more. 10% off for veterans, teachers, and first responders, and now 10% off when the Hogs play on game day. Shop at your locally owned Party Place, locations in Fort Smith, Rogers, and Conway.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Do you have concerns about the integrity of your roof? Liberty Roofing of Fort Smith and the surrounding area is here and ready to serve you. Liberty Roofing is here for all your roofing needs. Quality roofing services, licensed, insured, and certified. Give Liberty Roofing a call at 650-6231 to get started for a free roof inspection and estimate. Call 650-6231. Liberty Roofing is here to tend to all your roofing needs. Let Liberty Roofing cover you. Check us out on Facebook.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
KJ looks like he wants to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama, presented by Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank.
Tommy, I know we're going to talk a lot more football today, but did get a text coming from Claude. He is on his way to Austin, Texas right now behind enemy lines. He's got several hours ahead of him, but he took off at 4:30 this morning to watch this scrimmage that not many other people will be watching today in this exhibition.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to see it is to somehow get there. I was kind of joking at the end of the morning rush yesterday that, listen, if you want to watch the basketball game, you ought to go to Austin, Texas today, being yesterday, and watch the game on TV somewhere there in Austin, then go over to the Moody Center and check out that new facility and watch it in person with the basketball. And probably for some fans that live in Texas, a lot of Dallas Hogs, they a few may do that today. So that'd be good. At the end of the day, it's an exhibition game. It's going to be a good measuring stick. We're going to know who wins regardless. But I think it's just a shame. It's crying shame what Texas is doing today to keep Arkansas fans and keep their fans from seeing this basketball game today.
It is a bummer. And hopefully next year, if they have a marquee exhibition opponent, we won't have something like that. All right, back to football. Tommy, what do you think about both teams having a bye prior to this week? Does that have a greater impact on one team?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Arkansas needed to get some guys healthy, and if Arkansas gets all of those guys healthy in the secondary and they come back and they're effective and ready to play, and some have missed, several weeks of the season at this point, then Arkansas might have the edge there. I don't know everyone that was on the MASH list, if you will, for Auburn, but they had a few as well. But that's just typical of football at this point in the year when you're about 7 games into it. So I think Chuck was saying something earlier on the podcast coming in that he was kind of relaying from Sam Pittman and about the mental rest too, but you have to mentally gear up to get back after a bye week because you physically rest, but you mentally rest. So I think that might be as much as – and that's hard to put a finger on in a box score. Boy, right there, that team wasn't mentally ready. We think we know that's the reason why. Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, but – who bounces back off the week off more mentally engaged, I guess?
I can't think of the company that advertises the want to get away. You know that?
Yeah.
And I think for football players, sometimes you just want to get away. You want to get away from the facility. You want to get away from Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. You want to get away from your teammates. You want to go back to your high school. You want to relax, whatever. I was talking to Matt Jones about this earlier this week. I was just like, Matt, what do you guys do, man? And he was just like, you go back to your high school, you see your family. It's a good recharging the batteries of sorts. And again, both teams, there's no clear advantage since both teams actually have it, but I do wonder if it's going to help one above the other a little later on at 11 o'clock, like you're kind of discussing.
Yeah, I mean, pardon me, I think it's got to. I mean, but who's got more to play for? It seems to me, outside looking in, that even if Auburn won out, I'm not sure that'd save Brian Harsin. They could win the Iron Bowl. I'm not sure that'd save Brian Harsin at this point. The powers that be seemed hell-bent on changing coaches that they don't like who they've got. I don't think they're going to win out, but that doesn't seem to be enough right now. I don't think this will be a Les Miles situation at LSU where he can win a couple of key games and, the fans will overpower the power brokers. I don't think Harsin probably be fired before the end of the year, but I just don't think there's a way for him to save his job, it appears.
He started out at Auburn 6-2. Since then, he is 3-9. Tommy, they got the worst or second worst recruiting class in the Southeastern Conference right now. They're losing guys left and right. Guys want a red shirt, and there's being reports out there that he's not going to let them unless there's medical reasons. Now, we talked about that a little bit. You kind of side with him in some cases just because the players having all the power, which I get that, but there's just a lot of things going against him right now. And that stretch of starting out pretty solid. I mean, I think 6-2 for a first-year head coach, that's not bad. But, man, 3-9, that's not going to get it done on the Plains as of late.
Well, and if a player's physically ready, not injured, maybe hurt, but not injured, and can help their football team win, why shouldn't they be available to the coach to put in? You're on scholarship. You're there to play football, not to play politics, not to reserve yourself for another school or another coach. Now, I understand you don't want to put people out there who don't want to play. But, who should ultimately make the decision on whether a player redshirts or doesn't redshirt? Should it be ultimately completely up to the player that the player can throw in the towel for the year? That doesn't sound right to me either, Ty. Your job is to play football, and if the coach thinks you can help the team win, then you should go in and play if the coach asks you to play.
And we're seeing some Arkansas freshmen not just want to play, but switch positions to want to play with Quincy McAdoo and Sam Mbake. I know Sam's a little banged up this week. Coach was talking about that. I think there's a chance you could see Quincy McAdoo play a little defensive back today. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to play 50 snaps or anything, but I think that if Arkansas can make this a wider differential or bigger differential game and they open it up a little bit, then I think you'll see him. And Tommy, I mean, really to this point, you haven't had that opportunity to play a lot of younger guys outside of the injuries that have kind of forced them to because all these games have been close.
So what makes you think that a guy like McAdoo or Mbake or someone like that would get a chance today when they didn't in a game that Arkansas had well under control at Provo?
I think that it's a week-by-week thing, and again, even though that he played some cornerback in high school, and I think this is going to be more about Quincy than it is Sam. I'm not too positive that Sam's going to play today. But I think it's one of those things where you just continually practice at that position, and Ashford's just not that good throwing the football, in my opinion. So I think that regardless of what coaches say publicly, I think in the back of their head they know that. And I think Arkansas just has a chance to pull away today, and again, they would feel comfortable putting Quincy maybe in a situation. And I say that completely outside looking in, not being in practice or anything. That's just kind of where I stand on that question, Tommy.
The only reason I would have a little pushback to that is if indeed you get 3 or 4 players back that are defensive backs, I would think they would get the snaps ahead. But listen, we'd have gone broke based betting on players coming back when we thought they were based on coaches' comments. So I mean, as I've said for several days now here on the shows, until we actually see Miles Slusher and the 2 Johnsons, any of these guys that coaches had to basically come out and say, yeah, they're going to be ready. I feel like you'd think off a bye if there was ever a time. Now's the time. Man, until I see them back there, I don't trust they're going to be there either.
It's difficult because guys sometimes will have a good recovery day or a good therapy day or whatever kind of in the midst they're going through, and you're thinking, oh, this is going to how it's play out, and then they have setbacks or something happens. And it's also a mental thing at some points. I mean, you sometimes got to play through a little pain. I know we don't play college football, but we know several people that did, and that's just part of the sport, man. And, again, I'm not advocating for players to go out there with an injury that can hamper the end of their season and career, but no one what was told to me by a former player is, Tommy, once you have that first game, no one's truly fully healthy the rest of the way. You really are playing dinged up and bruised, and sometimes you just got to suck it up and get out there, and maybe we'll see that later on today.
Well, maybe. You're right. There's a difference in playing hurt and playing injured. That's to borrow the old phrase. But, coming off the bye, this is as good as it's going to get the rest of the way. Bodies heal up. The benefit they have is being young. I mean, your body just heals a little better when you're young, and they're conditioned and acclimated to the abuse your body gets playing this game. So I think Arkansas will be as good as it's going to get the rest of the way starting today at Auburn.
It's the biggest key, the turnover differential that I brought up earlier. Again, Auburn, one of the worst, if not the worst in the country in that aspect. And Arkansas forced 3 turnovers for the first time in a good while last week. Is that, in your opinion, the biggest key to the game today?
It probably is in about 60 other games today, too. I mean, turnover margin's always going to be a huge thing, and usually you win the turnover margin. More often than not, you win the football game. I think the key to today's game is tackling Tank Bigsby. That's what worries me is if I'm Auburn, if I'm Brian Harsh, I'm coming out there and I'm going to run it at Arkansas. And I'm going to see if you can physically step up and put Auburn in obvious passing situations on third down. If Bigsby can't get you 7 or 8 on the first 2 downs combined, and I think you're going to see that early try it out, I think that's the key. And Arkansas, as we know, has had problems getting people to the ground this year. So what happens when Bigsby gets past the line and to the linebackers and then the safeties come up? What happens then today? I think that's maybe the biggest key to this game is getting Bigsby to the ground.
Worst team in the Southeastern Conference in giving up plays 30 yards or more. You were hoping, I was going to say, that's Auburn. No, it's Arkansas. You've got to, as Tommy said, bring guys to the ground. And when Bigsby and Ashford and these guys are in space, I think Jarquez Hunter is the other backup running back that's actually pretty solid as well. You got to put them on the turf. No big plays. Tommy, I'm not trying to see a jet sweep. I think it was Ontario McCaleb maybe. That went like 80 yards, the opening play in 2016. I don't want to see any of that. Different team, different players, but Jordan-Hare Stadium doesn't have a lot of good memories as of late. We're live here in Auburn, Alabama. Again, thanks to Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank for helping us get down here. Going to see Jordan-Hare Stadium for the first time. I'm really excited. These players that are here are ready to finally do something that have not done in 10 years. That's win a road game in Auburn, Alabama. More to get to here on Arkansas Game Day. Live, ESPN Arkansas. Hit that line.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light.
When it comes to your vehicle dent repairs, you want a local professional that you can trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your place. Michael, his family, and team have been in the community for over 30 years and are the best in the business. When all the other pop-up hail damage places have packed up and left town, Littleton's is still here taking care of your vehicle every day. Stay local. Stay with the best. Stay with the name you know and trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Highway 112 off I-540 in Pensacola.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
If you are looking for a tractor to fit your farm or property, from landscapers to ranchers, take a look at the all-new Bad Boy tractors, built tough to be a workhorse in the field. Bad Boy has a history of combining power, performance, and quality, and you will find that in every tractor they sell. See your local Bad Boy tractor dealer in Western Arkansas, Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma, or visit almatractor.com.
Do you have concerns about the integrity of your roof? Liberty Roofing of Fort Smith and the surrounding area is here and ready to serve you. Liberty Roofing is here for all your roofing needs. Quality roofing services, licensed, insured, and certified. Give Liberty Roofing a call at 650-6231 to get started for a free roof inspection and estimate. Call 650-6231. Liberty Roofing is here to tend to all your roofing needs. Let Liberty Roofing cover you. Check us out on Facebook.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Fall has arrived. That means woo pigs, tailgate parties, apple festivals, and pumpkin spice, and everything nice. Don't miss the fun because your car won't run. Drive into fall with automotive maintenance and repairs you can trust from W&W Automotive. This is Mark at W&W. We offer affordable repair solutions for all makes and models, foreign or domestic, including front-end work and alignments. Call me or Kelly at 242-1600 or come see us just off of Townsend on South O in Fort Smith. That's W&W Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
KJ looks like he wants to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama, presented by Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank.
We know that this is one of the more tumultuous seasons that Auburn has had in quite some time. And in order for Arkansas to continue that stretch, and listen, I don't think that inflicting pain on another fan base is bad when it's SEC opponents, particularly Texas A&M. But in this case, it's Auburn, Alabama. And Tommy, I mean, I don't know. I think we keep saying that his timeline is set. It's just a matter of when. It's not if, it's when. I mean, you could send Brian Harsin on his merry way later on today.
You think they'd fire him after today's game? They didn't fire him on the bye week going into this game? You think today, losing to Arkansas is the last straw? You think that's it?
Conventional wisdom, as you pointed out, was fire him before the bye week, and it just didn't pan out, and it lost 3 straight. I don't know what they're thinking. And like you said earlier in the show, if you're an Auburn booster and there's a certain direction of the program you want to go, you don't want him to win today. This needs to continue on and turn it from 3 straight losses to 4.
I just look at the staff, and we're talking about their defensive coordinator earlier, Jeff Smetting, and their offensive coordinator is Eric. I think it's Kaisu. That's how you say his last name. I just look down their roster, and I'm not as familiar as some, but their coaching staff, I don't see it. Well, there's the guy. The name that stands out is Carnell Williams. Auburn great running back. He coaches the backs there, but you can't just fire somebody like Brian Harsin and then well, who are you going to put in charge of the program for 4 games? That's the other thing is, and who's the AD? I keep coming back to that too. I mean, you got an interim. You're in transition and administration. I think they ride the thing out. I could be wrong by sunset tonight, and he could be gone. But I just look up and down their coaching staff, and I'll say, there's the guy. We've seen it Arkansas through COVID. If Arkansas had a problem and Sam Pittman had to miss a game, the person you turn to was obvious that it's Barry Odom. I just don't see an obvious name to me, Ty, that stands out. Well, there's the one that would run your program for a month. It's a long time.
I think Hunter that's a good point. And I think Hunter Yurachek, he wouldn't tell you this publicly, but I think he'd tell you it privately. You don't want to get thrust into a situation where you did not select the head football coach. And I know Hunter was technically hired before Chad Morris was announced, right? I have that timeline correct? Like it was a day before or something, or was it a day after?
Just call it almost sequential, if you will, or call it, they happened at the same time, if you will, because, the hirings were announced, and if you'll remember, there was that one joint press conference over in the baseball indoor where they kind of announced both of them at the same time, too. So, I mean, it was everybody knows who hired Chad Morris.
Now, Tommy, Arkansas is still in the midst of trying to find their new chancellor. How long, and I'm trying to remember from Lawn to Yurachek, I mean, how long does it typically take to hire and really vet through a bunch of candidates when it comes to athletic directors?
Well, I don't know what sometimes they stay within the family and it's pretty quick, but Auburn hadn't moved that fast. So I would think, 3 to 4 months usually. Now, Alan Green was fired, back in summer? It's been a little while. Was it early, end of summer, somewhere in there? I'd have to go back and look that up, but it's not been recent. Let's put it that way. So they've been without an AD for a little while down there, a permanent AD.
Yeah, and again, that's when Brian Harsin saw him and that announcement, Tommy, you got to be a little like, well, I'm next. And again, coaches they won't ever say that publicly, but I know him and his family are probably thinking that, which is, again, he doesn't come across as a guy that you should hate by any means if you're an Arkansas fan. He's just been in a difficult situation. Auburn fans feel like they don't have their guy, and now it's just a matter of time before he's
been in a washing machine, I bet it feels like. He's been going around and around on spin cycle. But, you could do worse for your program by removing him. And again, I don't know all of these guys that are on his staff. And maybe there's something obvious there I'm missing. But, you got to ask yourself that. All right, you fire Harsin, who runs the show for a while. And to me, an obvious answer doesn't just jump out, and that's got to be part of the calculus when you're thinking about this. I think they ride Harsin through the end of the year, that being one of the reasons, the lack of an AD being the other. So I'm not expecting a change in Auburn's leadership. They didn't do it off the bye or going into the bye week. I just don't think they're going to do it this regular season.
Tommy, they've lost 6 of the last SEC games, 6 of the last 7 SEC games under Brian Harsin. While he may not be let go this weekend, Arkansas could contribute to his ousting here at Auburn. 877-377-6963 is the number to call or text in this morning. If you've watched Auburn play this year, you know that they give up a lot of rushing yards. They're 13th in the league, and Arkansas should theoretically be able to do the same thing today. I would hope that offensive line-wise, Tommy, that they just kind of road grade Auburn's D-line and linebackers early on. And then, as we mentioned, the discrepancy in the fourth quarter between Auburn and opponents, 56-23. You love to Arkansas to add that tally and keep Auburn and Robbie Ashford right where they're at.
Well, got to do that today. And Arkansas needs to go in, I think, like they did at Provo, control the clock. Maybe the most impressive offensive drive of the day. We were talking about this with Chuck yesterday. Is that 10-minute drive at the end of the game? You got the ball taken away from you on downs at the goal line. You had your quarterback get hit, and it was a neck stinger. You were fearing it was the worst considering his recent injuries. But, boy, Arkansas held on to the ball for 10 minutes. That might have been the highlight of the game. I know there were plays that stand out, and that's not what people talk about. It's not the sexiest thing that came out of the football game. But you think about what was accomplished on that. That's not easy to do, and Arkansas basically killed any last-minute hope of multiple possessions and chances to score with that. So I'm not saying Arkansas needs to open up the game on a 10-minute drive, Ty, but I'm just saying that you can control the clock and you can shove it down their throat and there's nothing they can do about it. That'd be a great way to start this football game. And I know that goes for any game, but Arkansas's run game can make that happen against Auburn, I believe.
You've spoken to it before. That's your favorite type of game to watch when they can't do anything. You break their will early and you just, again, pound them into oblivion. You've talked about, your favorite Arkansas teams have had the ability to do that. And I don't know where this Arkansas team ranks on the spectrum in that category, but they do, Tommy, have that unique aspect where they just – they get a hold of you like they did in South Carolina, then they can ride you for a long. It's kind of like Michael Orr in The Blind Side. You're getting blocked for 80 yards down the field at some point.
Oh, and hey, listen, I understand the ability to score quick and how that's devastating as well. But, you think about that last drive at Provo. That was almost 20% of the game, or 10-something minutes. You get to 12 minutes in a drive. It's rarely that. You're talking about a fifth of the ball game you controlled in a drive. So somewhere around probably 18% of the game was controlled in that final Arkansas drive. Your opponent can't score when they're on the sideline. So that's how I look at it. You also got to factor the time consumption into that, and I think that's what Arkansas needs to think. If Arkansas can be in the mid-30s, 34, 5, 6 minutes of possession today, I think it'd be hard for them to lose.
If you think Arkansas is worthy of being back in the top 25 at some point, you got to win this game today. This is the start of getting back to relevancy within, and I'm just talking about this season. I'm not talking about as a program, but this season when you started and got into the top 10 in some people's polls and you lost those 3 straight games, now you get, again, a team that you can beat. You got a team in Liberty that's not going to be easy, but you can beat. Tommy, this is the road back into the top 25 this week.
You're exactly right. No one's going to put you in based on beating Auburn, but maybe BYU, Auburn, and Liberty, maybe you sneak you in the back of the poll. The only poll that's going to matter starts Tuesday, and maybe their opinion's a little bit different, but that no one will pay attention to the coaches of the AP polls beginning next Tuesday. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if that committee looks at Arkansas, and obviously you got to win today to even have I just don't think Arkansas is probably going to be in that conversation for a while, but you got teams like LSU and Ole Miss on your schedule ahead. You win some of those games, and you'll certainly be a team with a number by your name.
You know what? You mentioned the college football playoff rankings. We're going to get into more of the games later on today, and there's some of the more impactful ones, not just in the Southeastern Conference, but others as well. We are behind enemy lines this morning thanks to Ag Up Equipment. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Check them out at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. And First Community Bank, where community comes first. Founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas, they have 32 locations across this state and southern Missouri to serve you. Again, it's behind enemy lines thanks to Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank. When we come back, not a Bud Light scoreboard update, but how about a Bud Light preview next?
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light.
When you're thinking car dealers, think Randall Ford at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or shop us online at randallford.com. This is the 4th oldest Ford dealer in America. 114 plus years of going strong today. 4th generation owned. Very proud to be a part of the River Valley. They take care of local charities. They also help out the schools. They want your business. They want to earn your business. Come see us today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
The Party Place, Arkansas's largest locally owned party supply store, now has 50% off all Halloween decorations. Hurry while supplies last. A large selection of costumes available all year long, starting at $9.99. Animatronics, accessories, makeup, masks, wigs, and so much more. 10% off for veterans, teachers, and first responders, and now 10% off when the Hogs play on game day. Shop at your locally owned Party Place, locations in Fort Smith, Rogers, and Conway.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert in Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
Are you an experienced concrete finisher? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forsgren is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. GoForsgren.com. Apply now at GoForsgren.com. Are you an experienced dump truck driver? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forsgren is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. GoForsgren.com. Apply now at GoForsgren.com.
What matters most to your family can now cost less when you choose comfortable, reliable, and efficient natural gas heating, water heating, cooking, and clothes drying for your home. You make the right choice in today's environment. High-efficiency natural gas appliances can reduce your monthly costs. And right now, you can save even more with heating and water heating rebates from AOG. Visit AOGC.com today and get more comfort for less cost.
Fall has arrived. That means woo pigs, tailgate parties, apple festivals, and pumpkin spice and everything nice. Don't miss the fun because your car won't run. Drive into fall with automotive maintenance and repairs you can trust from W&W Automotive. This is Mark at W&W. We offer affordable repair solutions for all makes and models, foreign or domestic, including front-end work and alignments. Call me or Kelly at 242-1600 or come see us just off of Townsend on South O in Fort Smith. That's W&W Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Ask Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
Unleash your inner detective at the 6 Foot Climb Murder Mystery Dinner. It's the ultimate murder mystery experience where you will enjoy a riveting night of conundrum and peril disguised as belly shaking, feet stomping, side-splitting laughter. Enjoy a scrumptious dinner coupled with some of the best entertainment in the Arkansas River Valley. The 6 Foot Climb is an experience you will never forget. Hosted at the Beard and Lady Inn in Chester, Arkansas. For tickets and more information, go to the6footclimb.com.
Let's talk guns at the Tackle Box. Ruger new model Black Hawk 41 Magnum 6.5-inch barrel with a box of shells, $7.99. Benelli M2 20-gauge black synthetic, $11.99. Browning Sweet 16 round knob, Belgium-made improved cylinder, plain barreled 1951 model, $13.99. And remember, the Tackle Box buys and trades guns and the customer wins. Tackle Box is also back into fly fishing. Come check it out.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Hey, where's the rest of the beer?
I'm probably out unless you clowns brought some.
Well, I've already had 3. Who's going to get more?
Order it from your phone.
From where?
Sody's delivers.
You mean where my girlfriend gets her wine and those cheese plates?
And if you don't want to drive, that's where you can order it. My free beer is gone.
Sody's now delivers inside Fort Smith city limits. Just order from mysodys.com or download the Sody's app and order from your phone. Sody's Wine and Spirits. Experience different.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
KJ looks like he wants to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Presented by Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank.
All right, back here on Arkansas Game Day, live from Auburn. We will get into more of these matchups a little later on and more in depth. Tommy, is the bigger game, in your opinion? I know we're in SEC country, but are you more interested in Penn State hosting Ohio State or Kentucky traveling to Knoxville?
Kentucky at Tennessee seems more interesting to me. But it's probably because I watch a lot more SEC football. I think Ohio State rolls Penn State, so I don't think that game's as interesting. Now, if that was Ohio State Michigan in a few weeks, I'd probably have a different answer. But I'll watch the Kentucky game tonight. And what time is the Penn State game with Ohio State? Is that earlier or is that prime time as well?
I assumed it's prime time, but I'll double check on that. If I had to guess, I would think that'd be the ABC game, but. No, it's the. I apologize. It's the Fox 11 a.m. game.
Yeah, so
man, Fox.
Well, I know what I'm watching at 11. I'll have that on the secondary TV, I guess.
There you go. There you go. Again, a lot to get to still here on Arkansas Game Day, live from Auburn. We'll come back to Razorbacks and Tigers talk in just a sec. Also, talk a little bit about this Arkansas-Texas game. We got another game on today. Basketball, though, in the Moody Center. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Stay with us. Hour number 2, Arkansas Game Day, is next.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you're thinking car dealers, think Randall Ford at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or shop us online at randallford.com. You know, this is the 4th oldest Ford dealer in America. 114 plus years of going strong today. 4th generation owned. Very proud to be a part of the River Valley. You know, they take care of local charities. They also help out the schools. They want your business. They want to earn your business. Come see us today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
As a sports fan, you know the game, but do you know what to get the woman in your life? Do you know what Judy Blues are? Or what about a tunic or buffalo plaid? Well, don't let that stress you out like a fourth quarter turnover. Go to Firefly Boutique and Gifts. That's Firefly, light up the night. Firefly Boutique and Gifts in downtown historic Van Buren. They have all the things for the women in your life. And to make it quick and easy, pick up a gift card and get back in the game. Firefly Boutique and Gifts, 613 Main Street in Van Buren.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
For over 30 years, our Landry's New Orleans Cafe has been the River Valley's favorite seafood, Cajun, and steakhouse. Now serving the best game day trays to go, including crawfish etouffee, seafood pasta, bourbon street chicken, blackened catfish, and more. They also do catering, pickup, and delivery. Our Landry's New Orleans Cafe, 613 Garrison Street in downtown Fort Smith. Open Tuesday through Thursday from 5 to 8 and Friday and Saturday from 5 to 9. 783-2505.
Now booking Christmas parties.
Call World of Wireless if you've recently lost your internet service in the Paris-Subiaco area. World of Wireless, a local internet provider providing service since 2015 to rural Arkansas. We cover areas east of Fort Smith, south of Fort Smith, and rural areas with high-speed internet with plans starting at $49.95 a month. But you got to call us, World of Wireless, 478-6616. It's 478-6616. If you recently lost service from your internet provider in and around Subiaco and Paris, call us, 478-6616, or go to wowfastinternet.com.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotors.com.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
This is Arkansas Game Day presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
Oh, he did get away. My gosh. He throws it to the receiver at midfield. It's complete.
ESPN Arkansas is headed behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Our coverage is presented by Ag Up Equipment. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. And First Community Bank, where community comes first. First Community Bank now has 32 locations across Arkansas and southern Missouri to serve you.
Had dinner with our guy Phil Elson last night, and he's going to be jumping on with us next segment, give his thoughts before the Learfield pregame of this game later on at 11 o'clock. And, Tommy, it's always good to play a road game at 11, and Coach Pittman was talking about that this week. This is, I guess, the second time you've done that in SEC play with the trip to Starkville earlier this year. Hopefully they get off to a much better start than watching Will Rogers, and hopefully Ashford's not doing the same thing that Rogers did to you in that game in Starkville.
Yeah, but what'd y'all have to eat? That's what everybody wants to know. Did you have anything good down there?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I was a little underwhelmed with the place we went to last night. I'm not going to throw it under the bus, but we have had some really good food down here to this point. It's the South, man. You're always going to have some good food down there. I've got this – you had some great barbecue 2 weeks ago in Provo, and I've got a place picked out, Bow and Arrow, that's not too far from her Airbnb that I think post-game, that's probably what I'll get me for a little post-game, hopefully celebration later on this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's going to have to go a long ways to beat what I had there at Bam Bam's in Provo. That was as good as it gets, but yeah, hopefully it is a celebration today. And, Arkansas, what are you chasing here? I think for a lot of us, or I feel this way, I don't know if everyone's in my camp, but I think a lot are, you need to get back to 8 regular season wins. That means you've at least equaled last year. You don't feel like there's any case many can make that your program's going backwards. Last year you won 9 of the bowl games. So to me, Ty, when you look at the schedule and the 5 games remaining, getting this 5th win, awfully important. We know about bowl eligibility. Getting to 6 wins and fighting your way into a bottom-tier SEC bowl game, well, that's better than none, is really not what this season's about. To me, you got to find a way to win 4 more to equal last year. Now, it's not do or die, and heads aren't going to roll if you don't, but that to me feels like kind of what's on the line today. I don't see a path to getting to 8 regular season wins without this win today.
Well, Tommy, you've also talked about, hey, you want to get back to Florida for a bowl game. No disrespect to Memphis and the Liberty Bowl or Nashville and the Music City Bowl, but you want to get back to Florida. That's where you want to play. And they have an opportunity to do that. And 8 kind of feels like the ballpark that Arkansas needs to be in order for that to be almost a sure thing, I think. And speaking of that 8 wins, that just seems – you get to 7, people aren't going to be ticked, but it's just kind of like meh. 8's like, all right, solid. Back-to-back years, 8 regular season wins. You could get to 9 with the bowl game depending on how that plays out. I definitely tend to agree with you on that point.
Well, you just don't have to explain yourself as much. When you got just as many or more wins one year than you do the previous year, it's not much explaining to do. Probably not going to be bonuses or contract extensions or those kind of things going around like we saw a year ago. But, when you equal your win total from a year ago, it keeps a lot of people satisfied. So, I think that's got to be where you're looking at. And that means you got to win, 4 of your last 5 to get there, obviously. So, I'm just talking about if 8's the number in your minds, kind of the number in my mind you'd like to get to, I just don't see how you really make that math work without a win at Auburn.
Yeah, we always like to do this prior to the season. We say, well, you probably need to win this game to get to 8 wins. You probably need to win this game to get to 9 wins. And the back half of your schedule is by no means easy because of even your non-conference opponent being Liberty. It's a pretty salty football team that most teams would not want to play as their non-conference opponent. You get to this year. But, yeah, 8 wins is definitely in play. It's possible. This is not Homer radio this morning here on Arkansas Game Day. And I think the team believes that, and I would think that based on what they were able to do last season, the blueprint is there for them to have a similar type of ending to this year's team.
I think so. I mean, they finished strong in November. KJ's passing game and his passing accuracy really came on strong at the end of the season a year ago. Are we going to see him go to another level this year? That will be interesting to me. Will one of the wide receivers emerge and become someone that, has some, 2 or 3 100-yard games down the stretch? The special teams make another big play. We hadn't really seen that huge play, or if I'm missing one, jump in here since Bryce Stevens returned that punt. That was a highly impactful play. So, some special things need to happen. And, today might not be any different.
I would like to maybe see a little something out of that. Bryce hasn't gotten necessarily just the opportunities with either the blocking or the incoming punts he's got. Auburn's got a pretty good punter. Chuck was talking about it yesterday. Maybe Bryce gets a chance to return one that's kind of a longer punt in their kickoff return coverage done, because he's been solid when he's just had a little room to wiggle. He just hasn't necessarily got that this year. And we were also kind of talking about Isaiah Satania, who Coach Pittman discussed earlier this week. Isaiah, from a special team standpoint, I don't know if 100% is needed than maybe you thought, because I think Bryce has been pretty solid back there when he's been given a chance.
Yeah. So, I mean, kickoff returns have almost been taken out of the game with moving with changing the rules and basically, creating a lot of touchbacks. So, as far as kick returns, punts really your only place, and then, the thing we all zero in on is place kicking. So, yeah, can you flip the field a few times? Can you get a chance to set up a better possession, a shorter field? Seems like Arkansas has had a couple of moments this year, but I think in November, maybe not just today, but in November, you're going to need a play or two from your special teams to have a chance to win 8.
Tommy, Auburn has the advantage of playing at home today, but again, we referenced this in hour number 1 of Arkansas Game Day. Both teams coming off a bye. Who hits the other one harder initially and gives them that jolt? Because I know that the home team always has an advantage, but if you can kind of keep the crowd out of it early and keep Auburn flat, hopefully Ashford or Bigsby or Hunter gets off to a big run, that's a huge momentum shift in this game that could suck the entire atmosphere out of Jordan-Hare very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to set the tempo. I mean, we always ask this question somewhere, usually latter part of the week, and we've kicked it around a little bit. Do you if you win the coin toss, you want the ball, or you want to put your defense out there first? I think Arkansas is in a spot right now. You just soon have the offense out there first right now. So maybe you go out and set the tone, set the tempo, set the level of physicality. Hey, here's what we're bringing all day. I think if you're going to do that, you put your offense out there to kind of set the tone for the ball game.
What about the secondary? That we hope. What's up?
What about it?
Well, it's one of those things where we don't know who's going to actually play today, right? And if they actually start out hot, kind of like we're talking about, then maybe that's a huge confidence boost for them the remaining 4 games of the year. And I just hope they're back today, Tommy, in terms of healthiness. I hope that we don't see guys that we thought were going to play be on the sidelines or not even make the trip based on their health, because you're hoping, based on how Sam Pittman was talking, these guys will be ready to go today.
But you got to have the guys that have been out there play better too. Hudson Clark gets a lot of people on his back about some deficiencies in his game from what you're seeing on TV or maybe sitting in the stadium. But I look at a guy like Simeon Blair, who's taken over as a captain since Catalan's injury, and man, he has some plays too that leave you scratching your head. So it's not just Clark. There's others. So it's not just the guys you might get back. It's the guys you've had need to go to another level as well. McLaughlin got a bad penalty out at Provo that you don't need. That gave BYU some extra yardage and another breath of life. But you got to have Chavez healthy. You've got to have Slusher back, who they probably needed more than anyone. Will he play at the level they need him to? And I think they got some young guys like, he's not a young guy really, Kari Johnson and Jaden Johnson, who they'd like to see come on, but those guys got to start having some impact once they get healthy here. Hopefully today's the day.
JT texting, and he's genuinely worried about the defense that they're going to be able to stop them today. Now, we're talking about the secondary. It's not like they won't come on help and run support, but this is going to be more on what I presume to be a healthier Bumper Pool, a healthier Drew Sanders, some guys on that defensive line that will make it easier on the secondary when they're in almost surefire passing situations. Because if you get Ashford, Tommy, in a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and above that, I think Arkansas is going to be able to win that battle today.
Yeah, and I'll just be interested to see of these guys that have been out. Johnson, Slusher, Chavez has not been injured as long, but who comes back and who plays today? That's been the question we've had to figure out each week is who's available in the secondary. And you start getting all these guys back, I think November will look a little more promising.
All right, Phil Elson's going to join us here live from Auburn coming up in just a bit. Again, really appreciate Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank for helping us behind enemy lines. When we come back, the voice of Arkansas women's basketball, Arkansas baseball, and the host of Learfield pregame joins us also as co-host this halftime.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light.
Head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains. It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you're thinking car dealers, think Randall Ford at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or shop us online at randallford.com. This is the 4th oldest Ford dealer in America. 114 plus years of going strong today. 4th generation owned. Very proud to be a part of the River Valley. They take care of local charities. They also help out the schools. They want your business. They want to earn your business. Come see us today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Do you have concerns about the integrity of your roof? Liberty Roofing of Fort Smith and the surrounding area is here and ready to serve you. Liberty Roofing is here for all your roofing needs. Quality roofing services, licensed, insured, and certified. Give Liberty Roofing a call at 650-6231 to get started for a free roof inspection and estimate. Call 650-6231. Liberty Roofing is here to tend to all your roofing needs. Let Liberty Roofing cover you. Check us out on Facebook.
If you're particular about your lawn, when nothing else matters except those perfectly cut stripes, that is your defining moment when you know you want a Skag zero-turn mower. Simply the best, hands down. When no other mower will cut it, stop by Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma and pick out your new Skag zero-turn mower and be the envy of your neighborhood. Come by today to see the full lineup of Skag zero-turn mowers at Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Greenwood Collision has been a part of Greenwood since the opening in 2007. Now they invite you into their new state-of-the-art facility. They offer customers a lifetime warranty and work diligently with all insurance companies to better serve their customers. Greenwood Collision has a color matching system, guaranteed an exact color match each and every time. Stop the worrying. Call Chris or Joe today at 996-9922. Greenwood Collision, 2615 West Center in Greenwood.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
When you need to customize your ride, whether for work or play, check out River Valley Truck Outfitters. Full line of LED lights for your headlights to work lights, B&W hitches, toolboxes, ladder racks for all your work needs or play, grill guards to full front bumper replacements, full line of WeatherTech and Husky floor mats. Let River Valley Truck Outfitters get your window tinting on. Best prices and quality in the Fort Smith area. River Valley Truck Outfitters can get your ride ready on Highway South 71 on top of Rye Hill. 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
KJ looks like he wants to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Presented by Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank.
All right, back here on Arkansas Game Day. Phil just texted me. He's going to join us in about 15 minutes. He's getting all situated. He's going to join us live from Jordan Hare Stadium. Now, Tommy, during the break, you were doing a little bowl searching, and you found out a few things. Now, apparently Arkansas played the last ever Outback Bowl because it's no longer that bowl in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, I was just reading through the conference notes, and there's a page in here that's got the bowl order. And it's one thing I noticed it's the ReliaQuest Bowl in Tampa now, the Outback Bowl. And this is just pure guess on my part, but I imagine COVID didn't COVID had a lot to do with the restaurant ability to put the kind of money into that sponsorship. So maybe that's part of it, maybe it's not. But we know that restaurants didn't always fare very well, particularly national chains through COVID. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but the name has changed. That's all that matters. But let's really look at we kind of are familiar with how the bowls are selected. Listen, we got a lot of football. It's not even November yet. But it's really important. We're talking about the importance of this game. Really important you finish clearly inside the top 10 in the league to avoid what are clearly the bottom two bowls. That's the Birmingham Bowl and that Gasparilla Bowl. It's also in Tampa, but it's played the 23rd of December. It's a bad time to have you played an American Athletic Conference team. That's the last bowl. The Birmingham Bowl's ahead of it. Then you play. That's the next one. So you want to avoid that. So this is a key game to stay out of even being on the fringe of that. Right now you'd clearly say Missouri and Vanderbilt, and most would have Auburn kind of in that bottom 3 or 4 in the league. I don't know how many are all going to end up bowl eligible, but you don't want to be at the bottom of the list of bowl eligible teams, and that's kind of assuming to make the playoff. Then you'd have one in the Citrus Bowl, then you kind of go from there. So, games like today are important for that. You got to get bowl eligible first. Arkansas is not there yet, but when you start figuring out the pecking order and you look at teams with equal records or similar records, and Arkansas and Auburn could certainly end up with one on a season basis. A game like today could be the thing that tips the scale in your favor.
Tommy, looking at those bowl locations now, I'm actually talking about the ones within the realm of possibility because most of y'all would just say, well, Ty, I want to play in the college football playoff.
Well,
bowl do you want to see Arkansas in, Tommy?
Well, I mean, one of the games that roll into the rotation this year that might intrigue a lot of our audience would be the Las Vegas Bowl. Here's the issue I would have. It's December the 17th. That might be good for some. That's short notice when I think it'd be the 4th, December 4th, if I think that's right, when they select the bowls on that Sunday. That's short notice to get somewhere. It's short notice for your football team. I don't like the date on that one. December 17th out in Vegas. Beautiful new stadium you're going to play in it, that Allegiant Air, all of that. That would be a game I'd like to go to. I just wish it was about 10 or 12 days later than what it is. We've been to Texas. We've seen that. It's been a while since you've been to Nashville for the Music City Bowl. So, but I think Florida's hard to beat. You got a couple options there, to go to Tampa, to the one you went last year, so that's probably out. So maybe the Gator Bowl's where you could end up. But, I don't know. Arkansas is going to have to probably win out to be considered for the Citrus Bowl. You're going to probably win, and then probably have 3 teams maybe get into the playoff for New Year's Day 6. So I think Citrus Bowl right now would be like everything goes right, you win them all the rest of the way.
Is that, Tommy, and remind me, is that in Orlando?
Yes, it's in Orlando.
Okay.
So play a Big Ten team. But, I mean, okay. I think you got to even have a chance at that because that you go through the process is all what the committee puts you in, whether it's the semifinal and the top 4, you get one of the other like the Sugar Bowl or whatever. So let's just say that's 3 teams, and team number 4, maybe team 5 goes to the Citrus Bowl if there's 4 that get in New Year's Day 6, which I think is also still possible in this league.
Tommy, I got to be honest. If I had my druthers, and I think you agree with me as well, of all the bowl scenarios I've heard play out, and listen, I'm not wherever Sam Pittman and his team want to play, I hope that's where they end up. But that tasty Nashville, Brett Bielema, Arkansas reunion just, to me, would be outstanding. It's close enough where people can drive. It's a team that you don't necessarily care about in Illinois, but you care about that head football coach that's coaching them. I think that would be a really intriguing game, not just from our perspective, but maybe even a little national intrigue as well.
Well, if you're going to play a team like that, the Citrus Bowl is another Big Ten SEC matchup. You'd like to be playing at a level where you earn your way to the Citrus Bowl and you feel like you got a really capable football team. I'm not saying Arkansas isn't, but I think if you prove yourself to that point, we're really going to have our chest bowed out. So, if you're going to take on Illinois and you're going to have all of the storylines leading into that, I hope it's in the Citrus Bowl. But I hear what you're saying about Nashville, another one of the Big Ten matchups. That would be the only – well, you could also in the ReliaQuest Bowl there in Tampa, the old Outback Bowl. That's a Big Ten or ACC game. So that could happen as well. But I don't think the odds of Arkansas going to the same location 2 years in a row is very high. So, yeah, I mean, there's probably a couple of opportunities. I hope it's in the Citrus Bowl. That means Arkansas's finished strong.
That'd be nice. And I tend to agree with you. You got to win 5 straight to end up there. Now, you do have the intrigue of still who's going to be that 4th team. We know who the 3rd best team. I say we know who the 3rd best team is. We know the top 3 teams in the Southeastern Conference. That's Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama. So I guess you're just gunning for the 4th at this point.
We thought it was Ole Miss till last week. So
yeah,
it may be LSU. So.
It could be. But
be
you
Kentucky,
still, with Arkansas having both Ole Miss and LSU, play Kentucky this year, you still technically have a lot to say in that matter. Now we're grasping at straws for who's the 4th best team in the Southeastern Conference. But for bowl ramifications, it's important.
No, it is. And because the 4th best team in this league could absolutely end up in one of these other New Year's Day 6 situations. Could be in the Orange Bowl. Someone's going to the Sugar Bowl. If you get the top 2 teams in this league, the conference champion and one other in the semifinals, you could certainly see 2 other SEC teams in, it'd be either the Orange or the Sugar. We know there's going to be one in the Sugar Bowl. So, yeah, you could be the 5th best team in this league. I'm just saying there's a lot to play for, has been and continuing today forward as far as bowl selection and kind of where you tier in. it's easy to see a path where the 5th team in this league goes to the Citrus Bowl. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There's still a lot to also look forward to on this program. Phil Elson's going to be joining us live from Jordan-Hare Stadium when we come back. If you've got something for him or something for us, text in 877-377-6963. You can also give us a call as well. This is Arkansas Game Day live, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
For over 30 years, Our Landry's New Orleans Cafe has been the River Valley's favorite seafood, Cajun, and steakhouse. Now serving the best game day trays to go, including crawfish etouffee, seafood pasta, bourbon street chicken, blackened catfish, and more. They also do catering, pickup, and delivery. Our Landry's New Orleans Cafe, 613 Garrison Street in downtown Fort Smith. Open Tuesday through Thursday from 5 to 8 and Friday and Saturday from 5 to 9. 783-2505.
Now booking Christmas parties.
At Frankwell Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down. And no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing. Family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frankwell Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The fastest internet you can find in rural Arkansas is from Wave Rural Connect, and we're bringing it to you. The Piney substation will open for orders Monday, October 24th. If you live near Pleasant Valley, Bullfrog Valley, west of Dover, all the way up to Booger Holler, Wave is coming to you. Fiber internet, TV, and phone in your rural area from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When it comes to your vehicle dent repairs, you want a local professional that you can trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your place. Michael, his family, and team have been in the community for over 30 years and are the best in the business. When all the other pop-up hail damage places have packed up and left town, Littleton's is still here taking care of your vehicle every day. Stay local. Stay with the best. Stay with the name you know and trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Highway 112 off I-540 in Pecola.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, the sweetest fruits of life come from serving others. And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Ask Shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
This is Matt Blaylock for Blaylock Heating and Air and Plumbing Services. We are proud to be a locally owned and operated Fort Smith-based business for over 35 years. We've seen many changes since 1983, but one thing that has stayed the same is our mission to provide the highest quality products, sales, installation, and service to the people we serve, and to give our customers every reason to accept and recommend Blaylock Heating and Air and Plumbing Services as their heating and air and plumbing company. To get a red truck rolling your way, just give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
This is Arkansas Game Day presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
KJ looks like he wants to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama, presented by Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank.
Back here on Arkansas Game Day, Phil Elson's going to be joining us in just a bit. He is walking up to the press box right now at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Give a better insight as being live on location. Tommy, I'll get a chance to head there as soon as we get done. One of the more underrated venues in college football that I'm excited as some other Arkansas fans to see later on today. Tommy, other college football games, you've got some decent games, but it's not a great day of college football, I would say, from start to finish, if I'm just being completely honest about it.
Well, it happens because you got buys. A lot of teams are on buys the last couple of weeks, and those will start winding down. I guess the last buy in the league is Ole Miss is on November 5th, and then everybody's playing. So you kind of got to work through this. And, so that does limit, you're right, the marquee matchups when you got, let's see, this week, 1, 2, 3, I think 4 teams are on buys this week. So.
Yeah, and it's the Alabama LSU that everyone's really intrigued about next weekend. That's going to be the matchup that a lot of people are watching. Now, you're not as heavily invested, and you'll have the 11 o'clock game on, which is on Fox, which is Penn State, Ohio State. But man, I'm pretty in the same boat with you. I think Ohio State could just run all over Penn State today. The game that I'm very, very interested in this weekend is the outcome of Tennessee and Kentucky. Now, Tennessee's got a couple guys back that are playing. I think that defensive back that was suspended for the Alabama game, and I guess they had that bye, and the Tennessee market. I can't think of his name, but I think he's back. This is a huge game for national championship implications later on when Tennessee and Kentucky go at it.
And I hadn't been able to watch Tennessee as much, but I was in Provo when they played Bama. I'm looking forward to watching that one later on tonight because I can kind of watch Tennessee from start to finish a little easier. Being at a lot of games this year, I didn't get to do that. And I want Tennessee selfishly to win because it makes next week's Georgia game with Tennessee a lot bigger.
I'm with you, Tommy, 100%. That Georgia-Tennessee game, the magnitude surrounding that, I can't tell you the last time a Vols-Dogs matchup has been that important amongst those two teams. All right, let's go live now to Jordan-Hare Stadium, where our buddy Phil Elson is standing by. Phil, what's it look like out there, man?
It's a beautiful football stadium. It really is. You got low-lying clouds right now above us. There's not a chance of rain, though. And the stadium is, they're doing their testing for the sound system, and right now it's totally empty, and pretty soon it's going to be pretty filled. It's a beautiful day here. It's a little chilly, but I think it'll warm up into the 70s. It's going to be I think it's going to be a great day for football. I think people here are a little bit nervous just because they haven't seen their team play at home in almost a month, and it hasn't gone so well for them. So, they went into the bye week with the loss, and Arkansas went into the bye week with a win. So a little more confidence on the Razorbacks end of things right now.
Yeah. Arkansas, we know the series record over the last 10. What makes this game so important, not just to the fans, but to Sam Pittman and this program today? Just when you factor in the season where you've been, you're coming, off a win, preceding that a 3-game losing streak. What makes this game so important in your mind, Phil?
Well, this is kind of like a program that you would measure yourself against. Take away some of the recent trips to the national championship game and national championship for Auburn. It is a program that Arkansas has to compete with in the SEC West and hasn't defeated yet since. Well, I was going to say since Sam Pittman has been the head coach, but it's been since Brett Bielema was the coach. A while back, their last win against this team, and really, when you take a step back and look at the grand scheme of it, this Auburn is the program where things are in turmoil. Auburn is the place where they're having a steady stream of players head into the transfer portal. They had to replace a really good defensive coordinator last year that they wanted back and decided he'd rather coach somewhere else. This is the place that is searching for an athletic director. One of the main reasons that they're looking for one is because the last one hired Brian Harsin. and everything is seemingly copacetic at Arkansas, right? Everyone's happy with the direction of the program and with the coaching staff. There aren't players leaving on a routine basis, and with all those things together, that to me means Arkansas should win the game. I mean, they're in a better position emotionally and mentally. It doesn't mean they're going to. They got to go on the road, a tough place to play, a place they haven't won in 10 years. But, that's just like the bird's eye perspective of things. I think if you want things to stay copacetic and stay in that direction, then I think you got to beat Auburn.
Yeah. See, we're all programmed in my mind, whether it's, in school, we didn't want our grades to go backwards. But, we wanted better grades next semester than this, all of us except Ty. In life, we want to make more money next year than this year. We want our football team to win at least as many games, if not more, this year than last year. And to get back to 8, Phil, I don't see a path to 8 without a win today on the Plains.
Well, I mean, that means you'd have to pick up the pieces of what would probably be a really disappointing loss and then run off 4 in a row.
Right.
And that includes a couple of teams that are playing really good football, and that doesn't count Liberty, who is playing good football. And I think sometimes we kind of discount them a little bit just because they're non-conference. But I mean, there still is the path to do it, but it makes things a lot more difficult because I think all of us believe that even though the Ole Miss and LSU games are at home, that there's a good chance that you go 1-1 those 2 weekends. So if you want those 8 wins, you got to give yourself that leeway, and that means a win here today.
Phil, of the Ole Miss and LSU games that you've watched as of late, what's going to be the more bigger challenge for Arkansas, the Tigers or the Rebs?
That's a good question, Ty. I think LSU is just playing really tough football. I think they've figured out some things defensively that made it really difficult for Ole Miss last week. I think they've got the better of the 2 quarterbacks, certainly when it comes to throwing the ball. I think that's the it's not just the recipe to beat Arkansas; it's the recipe to beat a lot of teams, to have better quarterback play. That's one reason why I think Arkansas has a real edge today against Auburn, and I think that edge is blunted a little more by Jaden Daniels. And their defense is playing really well. And a couple of reasons are guys that played for Arkansas last year. So I'd be a little more nervous about LSU.
I look at Jaden Daniels right now, who, again, struggled mightily in that opener against Florida State's transfer from Arizona State. There was going to be some bumps in the road, but he's come on as of late. I mean, what is their ceiling with Alabama coming into town next week, Phil?
I mean, I guess we'll find out, because everybody sort of measures themselves if you're going to contend in the West by how you do against Alabama. Tennessee sort of has taken that path as well for contending in the East, because they play them every year, but that's how you measure yourself in the East, is how you play against Georgia. So we'll find out about it. I mean, they get them in Baton Rouge. That's a tough place. Alabama hasn't really traveled very well this year, unless it was Arkansas. And so, I mean, we'll find. I think LSU's for real. Not to say Alabama's not, but we've seen twice this year that Alabama is not, Marvel superhuman or anything.
Bill, we've seen tickets out there at a more than reasonable price for today's game if someone was in the area and wanted to go, which leads me to believe that not going to be a full house today. What kind of crowd and atmosphere you think you're going to take in today there at Jordan-Hare?
I don't know. I mean, it's such a big stadium for such a small town, and you can tell when you're driving around. I mean, the streets swell a little bit when it's a football weekend, and I would imagine this is a tough place to fill every single weekend if the football team's not playing very well. But it's been a month, like I said. Maybe people are hungry to be at an Auburn football game. It is a perfect day for a game. It really is. But I mean, I guess I'd be surprised if there's 89, 90,000 that are here, just because I don't think everybody's feeling great about the direction of their football program. The thing is, though, is that the people that live here and Auburn people really do love the Auburn Tigers. And they show up even when they're not playing incredibly well. So I doubt it'll be a sellout. The thing is, though, is you've got an opportunity. I don't know about have the crowd turn on their team, but to make them really uneasy and quiet early would be really nice for Arkansas. And they did. Remember, they played really well against BYU, but they trailed going into the second quarter. So it has been a few games in a row where at least defensively it hasn't been the hottest start.
Yeah. Also want to ask you, Florida-Georgia plays today. The news came out yesterday about Vince Dooley's passing at the age of 90, won more games at Georgia than anyone. I would imagine, I don't say it's a cloud that's hanging over the stadium, but that's going to be something that maybe is a little extra motivator today, and certainly one of the legendary names in the league. I'm sure you'll be talking about that here in just a little bit, and that'll be a question you probably pose to Rick.
Well, yeah, it's good. I would definitely ask him about that. I'm sure everybody across the SEC will have some thoughts about Coach Dooley and one of the real iconic teams in SEC history with those 1980 champions. And I'm sure everybody in Georgia is happy that he got to see at least one more national championship and kind of pass that torch in Athens.
It's crazy that Georgia is only 2 national championships, one with Herschel and then this one this last year. Phil Elson is live at Jordan-Hare Stadium. He's with us here on Arkansas Game Day. And, Phil, I think about coming back to this Arkansas-Auburn game, just the quarterback differential. Coach Pittman was talking about earlier this week. KJ did not play well in this game. I think KJ, based on what we saw in Provo, I think KJ is going to be on point today.
I don't see any reason why he's not. I mean, he's been on point for most games this year. He's been really good. And that is the biggest differential in this game. And, you're past that streak of really good quarterbacks. And I mean, just to put it, I think succinctly, Auburn's just had terrible quarterback play this year. They have. Their quarterbacks have turned it over a lot. It hasn't just been interceptions. They've fumbled it away 3 times. And for a team that wants to run the ball, also with the QB, that's not a really great equation to success. And I think there's going to be opportunities to take advantage of that in this game. I think if you can create some turnovers, it was good to see them do that at BYU because it had been a few weeks since the defense had been a playmaking defense. And look, they're going to give up their yards. I think Auburn will be able to run the ball with some success. They did that last week, over 300 against Ole Miss. But I think there's going to be opportunities to take the ball away from them. And what they do with that, may end up being the difference in this.
Phil, we'll leave it there, man. I know you got some pregame duties to get to in about 20 minutes or so. So give us a good 3 hours, and we'll talk to you maybe after the game and definitely hear you from halftime on Monday.
All right, Ty. Glad you were able to wake up today. Congratulations on that.
We were all worried.
Oh,
we were all worried,
Phil. Leaving me out on an island in the interview. Jeez Louise.
Hey, we already knew the truth,
I'll talk to you guys later.
See you, Phil.
All right. See you, buddy. Hey, I've been up both mornings. I think I deserve
he just confirmed what we all already knew. So
I was pretty low-key with Phil. Phil was kind enough to eat dinner with me and 5 other buddies last night, and I was pretty.
I'm sure that's exactly what he wanted to do. So
listen, man. Phil Elson is a man of the people, and anyone that says otherwise is just a straight up liar. All right, one more segment here on Arkansas Game Day. Again, we're live from Auburn, Alabama, behind enemy lines, thanks to Ag Up Equipment. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. Layden Pugh and his team have 16 locations across Arkansas and Mississippi. Visit them at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. They don't sell maybe at AgUp. And First Community Bank, where community comes first. Founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas, First Community Bank now has 32 locations across the state and southern Missouri to serve you. If you've got something on this game today, 877-377-6963. Last segment of Arkansas Game Day is next.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day, presented by Bud Light.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp code, lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers. It's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. And that's it for today. Bud Light. Crisp.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you're thinking car dealers, think Randall Ford at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or shop us online at randallford.com. You know, this is the fourth oldest Ford dealer in America. 114 plus years of going strong today. Fourth generation owned. Very proud to be a part of the River Valley. You know, they take care of local charities. They also help out the schools. They want your business. They want to earn your business. Come see us today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
In the field, the right partner can make all the difference. One that's dependable, straightforward, and is there when you need them. That's LG Seeds. From our hybrids and soybean varieties to our service and support, reliability is in everything we do. Start this season right with LG Seeds. Talk to your local dealer or visit lgseeds.com for more information.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more. With service you can depend on. Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert in Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service for high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Fall has arrived. That means woo pigs, tailgate parties, apple festivals, and pumpkin spice, and everything nice. Don't miss the fun, cause your car won't run. Drive into fall with automotive maintenance and repairs you can trust from W&W Automotive. This is Mark at W&W. We offer affordable repair solutions for all makes and models, foreign or domestic, including front-end work and alignments. Call me or Kelly at 242-1600 or come see us just off of Townsend on South O in Fort Smith. That's W&W Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
This is Arkansas Game Day presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics.
KJ looks like he wants to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Presented by Ag Up Equipment and First Community Bank.
You know, Tommy, I know that you're not a huge fan of traffic on game days, and no one is, to be honest. But, man, if you think it's bad in Fayetteville, I think we're in for a rough time later on today. Based on the Auburn people that I've talked to, man, this is a small town, and around Jordan-Hare Stadium, it seems horrible according to the fans, man.
I've been there before, so I'm interested to kind of hear your reports. That's a place maybe in a couple of years I want to get to, because I'm like you. I want to see every facility in the SEC when given the chance. So that's certainly a place I want to go to today. But Provo was kind of like that when I was out there. That when you left the stadium, it was just kind of the normal blocks and streets and the grid, and getting back over to the interstate, and it was just no matter if you turn left or right, it was going to be backed up traffic till it kind of cleared out, and it wasn't the biggest stadium. So just imagine a small scene like that, like you're describing, with not a lot of infrastructure, but about, I don't know how many will be there today. I doubt it'll be 95 plus, but they can get up in that 92 range. I think is their seating capacity there, Jordan-Hare, somewhere in there. Might be a little larger than that, but I think it's going to be 87,451 is their capacity. So if you have 80,000 getting in there, it's going to be a difficult time getting in and out of that stadium.
Tommy, I just pulled up my handy dandy Bet Saracen app. Arkansas still a 3.5-point favorite. Now, I know Zach Arns is placing his own personal money on the Razorbacks in this one. How are we feeling about this game as we're about 3 hours from kickoff?
I think it goes to the end. So that probably means, one of the teams going to win by 2 touchdowns, but go opposite of what I'm saying. But I think it goes to the end. This series, when teams have not been noticeably better or decidedly better than the other going in, have been close games a lot of times. So if you told me that, hey, it's maybe not going to be a repeat of 15 with 4 overtimes, but we could have an overtime or 2 today, I would not be surprised by that at all.
It'd be nice to see a 56-3 drubbing that you laid out. I just don't think that's going to happen on their turf. So, and I say turf, I think it's grass, but
it is.
You know the phrase.
It is.
Yeah, I think in this game, I'm going to side with you in this one. I think it's going to be close, and I think Arkansas is still able to cover, but I don't think it's going to be like a 3-touchdown game or anything like that. I think Auburn showed 2 weeks ago against Ole Miss that there's still some life in this football team, and buys a lot of times are good for teams. I think it's going to be good for Arkansas, but I think it's also going to be good for Auburn. So by no means is it going to be a walk in a park, in our opinion, later on at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, which tells me, a lot of things are even in this game, and based on the way we're describing it, we expect it to be even. Special teams plays and ball security and taking care of the turnovers. Hey, what games have you ever watched where ball security wasn't important? Are going to be paramount today. So maybe this game comes down to a special teams play or two that make the difference. When you think back on the 4, 5, 6 plays that define the game, I wouldn't be surprised if special teams wasn't 1 or 2 of those.
A.J. Green might get a few opportunities to take the ball out of either the end zone or near the goal line, and I know that he would love to have that one back against Mississippi State. And typically those balls are just going through, but Chuck was telling us yesterday, Tommy, that Anders Carlson isn't putting them through the back of the end zone at kind of the rate that would be expected.
Yeah, his touchback numbers aren't as high as you'd like him to be. So, maybe there's a chance because, if you can start out at the 30, that's half a first down. That's one less run that Rocket Sanders has to make. So everybody says, that's only 5 yards, going from the 20 to 25. That's half a first down. So, maybe you can get some series to start outside the 30 today.
Yeah. Again, we're going to have our post-game coverage. Tommy and Derek are going to be along from that. Tommy's going to be live at Randall Ford. I'll jump in there after Coach Pittman's press conference a little bit later on. Phil, Rick, and Gino coming up in just a bit. Tommy, last thing I want to discuss, wide receiver-wise, we saw Matt Landers go for 3 touchdowns, slightly under 100 yards. This was a team that he considered. I was talking to some Auburn media yesterday. Auburn was a school, along with Jaden Hazelwood, that Landers was thinking about transferring to. And now he's got a chance to prove that he made the right choice and really showcase his ability against the Tigers today.
Yeah, everybody wants to show out in these situations. And, the wide receivers, as you bring up, are still, to me, searching for someone to take over and to become the predominant go-to number one wide receiver. Maybe that gets established a little bit more today.
Yep, I would hope so. Well, Tommy, you enjoy the rest of your day, man. Got 2 pork butts. Is that what I heard? A little earlier during the break.
Got a friend of mine I'm taking care of one for. Then be ready about dinner time tonight. It's about the time I get done with the post-game show. Went on at midnight last night. Needs about a good 15-hour smoke. So you'll be ready for dinner tonight.
You're a good friend, man. Props to whoever's somehow swindled you into getting a free pork butt. Man, that's
all you got to do is buy the pork butt.
For Tommy and Ty, Phil Elson is next.
The Party Place, Arkansas's largest locally owned party supply store, now has 50% off all Halloween decorations.